So if you follow this tutorial, I'll talk you through how to create the plywood base of your headphone stand. So you've got the technical drawing. If you need to find this, it's on the website. I've recorded and kind of memorized most of these sizes, so I'll refer to this briefly. So you will need to access that, probably more so than I'm going to. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the line tool or the pencil tool. And I'm going to draw a line from the origin along the red axis, and you'll notice in the bottom right hand corner down here the length is being seen. Now the dimension that I need is 230 millimeters, so I've typed in 230 and I've typed in enter on my keyboard. You'll notice that it's quite small on my screen, so I'm using the scroll on the mouse to zoom in to get a little bit closer to that part. Now one of the next sizes is going to be, pencil tool back on, and I'm going to go up along the green axis. Again, I'm going to type in 80 and enter. I'll do the same from this end point. Along the blue axis, I'm going to type in 80. Oops, ignore that. Should be in the green axis again. There we go. 80 and enter. That should now be my first 3 lines that I need. Now, SketchUp is clever, so it will help me find the center of a line. So at that point, that's going to be the center point of that 230 millimeter line that we drew first of all. Now I need to use this if you think back to when you made your headphone stand. So we went along this center, from the center line, and we went up 114 millimeters. Now that helps us to draw the large radius circle with a radius of 70. So I'm going to go into here. I'm now going to select the circle tool. I'm going to click on the end of there. Click once, drag it out. And you can, if you want to, you can drag it to 70, or I find it a lot easier typing in 70 and hitting enter. Don't worry for now, the fact that that's solid. We'll sort that out towards the end. Now what I'm now going to do is go back to the pencil tool, click on the end of there, and endpoint. And we'll do the same over here. So already starting to look similar to what we have already made. There are subtle things that we need to continue to add. So we've got a very small radius here, and then we've got the radius here, here, and there. So nice and easy to start with. I'm going to draw this radius. Now one way of doing this is to get the pencil tool, and what I'm going to do is click once. I want to come across 30 millimeters. So you'll see the bottom where it says length. That is now 30. Now you should see a fairly faint line from that point. There we go, it's a green line now. And I want to go up 70 millimeters. And I'm going to hit enter. Now the reason for that, and this is exactly as you made it in Plywood, I can now get the circle tool, click there, and type in 30 for the radius. And you'll see that it intersects there. And it should do at the top there. So when I get the eraser tool now, what should happen is I remove those lines. For some reason it hasn't done it, so I'll try that again. End of that line, 30, enter. And it looks to have worked. There you go. Now, to refill that line in. And what I can then do is remove the lines that I no longer need. I can start to remove that center line as well. I don't need that anymore. What I could do, so I'm going to remove there. So I've kept the one radius. I'll draw the same over here. So I'll repeat what I've done before. Click, go across to 30. Click up. I'm going to go up on the green axis by 70. Circle tool. Now that should work for me. So that time I haven't bothered to type in the radius, because as long as I've taken it, I'll do that again. So already there, drag it across. That should already be 30 for me. Again, in this case, there's a subtle error somewhere. That's okay, because I'll just go from that point back down to there. So I can now finish by erasing everything I don't need. You can use this like a rubber. So I'm holding left click, and every line that I then select will start to be removed. And there you can see what you need. The last thing to do is the radius on this corner and this corner. Now I'm not going to use the circle tool this time with loads of kind of erasing. I'm going to go to the 2-point arc. So what I can do using, he says, should still be there from earlier. It's not letting me find it, so I'll try that again. So I'll go back to my 30mm line, which is there. There we go. And when this goes pink, or blue, sorry, click twice. That's been drawn on. I should be able to erase those lines. Now you could do it as you did with the actual projects. This is a different way of doing it. So again, I've got with 30. I'm going to go up to 30, get the circle tool, click once, click twice, and it should allow me to then rub out those two lines. Again, much the same as before. If that does happen, just fill it back in, and then you've got the majority of your shape now finished. 12mm plywood is what you made your project from, so 12, enter. Try that again, there you go. And there's your first part made. What might be worthwhile doing, I'll talk about this in another tutorial later on, is it might be worth putting a kind of construction line on this top surface to help us locate the next part. But for now, that's the part finished. Worthwhile triple clicking, so it selects the whole object, or other option, highlight the whole thing, right click and make that a component. And I would call that Plywood Base. Okay. And there you have your first finished component on SketchUp. Save it and you're done. I've already pre-named mine. You'll need to save your